Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic. This time take a look at the 1990 Nissan Skyline R32 GTR Nismo, my personal favourites of all of the R32s in this game because it comes with this fantastic exclusive racing livery. This is the BP racing livery. I can't remember what car this ran on. I believe it was the Super GT, similar to the Calsonic livery. You know, many people do like the Calsonic livery. I love the Calsonic livery. However, this BP one, A, it's unique, and B, it's yellow and green, so naturally I quite like it. It also is quite interesting how they put it on the single hardest Skyline to find in the game, because this one only shows up in the used car dealership every now and again, and only comes in gunmetal grey from default. Anyways, despite having a unique paint job, statistically pretty much the same as all the other R32s really. Four-wheel drive, 637 horsepower, 1,281 kilos of weight, a fair amount of torque similar to the power figure. Yeah, this one should do fairly well. To find out how fairly well it does, it's going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Lander track and attempt to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is Suzuki Scuderia Pipe Speed Edition at time 27.710. The R32 unlikely to beat that. As far as where this car should go, realistically, it's probably going to go somewhere around the other Skylines that we've had around. The quickest of those being the R32 GTR from 1989. Whoop. And we're going to have our first spin because, of course, this is the first one I recorded today, and it wouldn't be a Hot Lap Classic without a spin on the first one I record of the day. But yeah, probably going to go somewhere similar to the other R32 that we've had around, the GTR, which was set around a 29.9, I believe, and the R34 is up there with it as well. Admittedly, this one does have slightly more power, so that could actually be a hindrance to it, and also the Nismo one may be in a different state of tune. It does have exactly the same upgrades as every other car does, and every other R32. However, as we saw with the likes of the Spoon Civic, potentially could have some different suspension tuning. Certainly feels like it might. It feels a lot harder than the Skyline in terms of its actual suspension setup. It feels a bit more solid, which isn't necessarily a good thing when we're running over the curbs and the bumps and the grass verges and so on and so forth in the attempt to set the best time. 30.610 on its first opening gambit, which, to be fair, gonna get a lot of sideways. Skyline's not quite as quick as you'd expect them to be around this track. Say, stuff like the GTOs will go faster, despite the fact that they weigh more. Something about them, they have a little bit more. Alright, let's go back here and restart that. Yeah, despite what you'd expect, the GTOs do actually have a better time around this track. GTOs and some other vehicles as well that are four-wheel drive do have a better time around this track than the Skylines do. Skylines, unfortunately, are usually a little bit too heavy and a little bit too sort of... I don't really know what is up with the Skylines, to be honest with you. It's just they're not as quick around this track as some vehicles are. I don't know if it's a power thing or something like that. Of course, they're slower than Evos because they're not quite as nimble, they're not quite as small. But as far as them versus sort of your 3000 GTs and your GTOs and so on is concerned, I actually really do not know the exact issue with those vehicles. But all I can say is there is definitely an issue. Ooh, speaking of issues, gonna get some oversteer. Hopefully we can push ourselves out of this corner. Hopefully we get a lovely last corner. And then we can go on to the final lap. What's it going to be? 29.7. So it does make it into the under 30 club. And it is actually our quickest Skyline. Yeah, I believe it's even quicker than the JGTC ones. However, apparently, judging by that first sector, there is still some time to come out of it and clip the tyre wall. And that's probably going to be the end of this lap. Yeah. A little bit of a shame about that one. That first sector was pretty much dead on accurate though. That's like literally like the best way to take that first sector. A little bit of oversteer coming out of that last corner seems to be the main issue with this car. But a 29.715, it can hardly be disappointed with that. I'm happy with that. It's quicker than I was expecting it to be. You can sort of see it getting loafer is mostly, I was sort of expecting that to be the final time for the vehicle, but I will quite happily take a 29. As you can see, yeah, it was about 0.2 of a second up on that sector. If everything had gone to plan on that lap, maybe it could have got like a 29.5 4, but that would have had to be like pretty much everything spot on perfect. So yeah, either way, still a very good time. Let's go on to the leaderboard and see where it places. On to the leaderboard then, and the Nissan Skyline R32 Nismo becomes the fastest road-going Skyline we've had. Goes into 20th place with a 29.715, a very quick time indeed. In fact, it even beats out an R33 race car. It is about 0.1, 0.2 of a second quicker than a standard R32 GTR as well. Not hugely quicker than a standard R32, but it is worth bearing in mind. Anyways, I want to thank you all very much for watching this edition of the Hot Lap Classic, and until next time, farewell.